So hi guys, today I'm going to be making the Viet style pork chop salad over noodles. And what I've done is already boiled some water for the rice noodles that you could get at your Asian supermarket. And I also have the lemongrass. I've already washed the pork chops. And I'm just going to do a rough measurement with stuff that you already have at home in case some of you are not heavy expert cooks. What you also need is 1 teaspoon and the soup spoon as measurements, okay? So, first we need what the Vietnamese use as fish sauce. Well, what I have here is the fish sauce with 3 crabs. The brand is 3 Crabs brand, which is considered one of the best because the usual one, the fish sauce with the dried squid on top, that one is okay, but I find that one is overly salty. So this one has all the flavors, but it's not as salty as the other ones. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to marinate the pork chops first, okay? First, we need to open fish sauce. And we're using the soup spoon. We're going to do 4 to 5 of these, depending on how many pork chops you have. I have 6, so I'm going to do 5. So let's measure the fish sauce. I'm going to do 1. We have 5. Now, since we have so much fish sauce into this recipe, we're going to have to balance that out with a little bit of sugar. And with sugar, I'm really going to measure with the soup spoon again. And I'm going to do 2 of these soup spoons. And as we're gonna cook it, depending if you want to grill it outside in the backyard or if you want to do it on the pan, today I'm going to do it on the grill pan. You're going to glaze it with a little bit of honey as you're doing that. Most important, we also need, let's see, sesame oil, a little bit. That is roughly 1 of these. You could just splatter a little bit for the seasoning. And I'm going to go ahead and put the lemongrass into this recipe. I would say, safe to say, for flavor, that you should do 2 stalks of this lemongrass. Lemongrass is very essential to the cooking process because it's fragrant, and at the same time, I find that it actually gives the pork good flavoring. So I'm going to go ahead and chop that up. I'm going to put it on the back a little bit to break up this plant itself. So that the flavors incorporated. I'm just going to go ahead, rough chop lemongrass to season the pork. As that's going, my water's boiling, so I'm going to go ahead and run the store-bought rice noodles, and I'm going to boil that after the water's been boiling. I'm going to run that into the water for 2 minutes. And this is the brand that I have, which is, I actually bought this from the local supermarket, the Asian supermarket, and it says cook rice noodles for 2 minutes. So just follow the instructions, simple instructions. It's like semi-made. So this, you run through the hot water, 2 minutes, and then you lift it up and you run it over cold water. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put the noodles into the wok right here. And I'm making this for like 4 people. I have 5 pork chops in case, you know, people want more. But I'm gonna safe assume 1 packet for 1 person. If you're a big eater, then you should do maybe 1.5 for 1 person. So I'm gonna go ahead, unpack these, put it into the hot water for boiling. Now, with the water's boiling and I put the noodle in, the recipe itself for the pork is basically done because the fish sauce has the essential salt that's already needed. If you like, you could put pepper into it. I'm going to go ahead and put pepper before I hit the pan, let the pork chops hit the pan. And all that yummy goodness into it. I'm going to time it for 2 minutes. It varies really depending on your stove. It says 2 minutes, but I'm going to check it. I set the timer. I'm going to check back in 2 minutes to see how everything's going. And go ahead and get a tongue. Tongue and make what we call pork chops. And if you want, you can use your hands. You leave the pork chops marinated for maybe 2-3 hours depending. The pork chops that I bought from the supermarket, I told the guy, my butcher, to get me the pork chops that are already marbled. What with the marbling is, the fat that's within the pork chop will make the pork chop juicier, as opposed to if you want lean. I highly recommend if you do lean, then you should break down the pork chop a little bit, maybe with the back of your knife, or if you want to do it like steak style, that could be great too. I'm just going to marinate this, and we do that for roughly 2 hours, and if you do overnight, even better. Alright, the pork chops have been marinating for 2 hours. I just went on ahead and cracked a little black pepper. And what I'm going to do is the vinaigrette fish sauce based dressing for the noodle. And what you need for this part is 5 of these small chili peppers. And you're going to go ahead and chop them up. According to how spicy you want your dressing, you should put more. It's based on taste. This will just give it a little kick. And with the recipe, I will also put the ginger ale. And with the ginger ale, I'm going to tell you exactly how much to put in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and chop up the peppers. Once the peppers are chopped, you want to do maybe really fine. I mean, you could grind it if you want, but go ahead, chop it even finer than what it is. And you can put it inside the bowl. Go ahead and put that inside the bowl. Pepper down, go ahead, and we're going to measure with the soup spoon, once again, fire. And you also want to hit it with a little bit of ground ginger. Not ground, but diced up. And I'm going to roughly do a half of these teaspoons and put it inside. This I already ground it ahead of time. I heated up the oil and I put it inside like a glass jar, and it's for me all the time, so I don't have to chop up garlic as I'm doing this. If you also want to, which it's up to preference, I wasn't sure if you guys wanted to, but you could put the diced, chopped up, minced garlic into the pork chop also. So I'm gonna put it on before we cook it onto the pan with the ginger ale that we have. Now I just have like deli bought ginger ale that I have bought for maybe like 75 cents, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put the ginger ale into my dressing base. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 10 of these roughly, because you want the fish sauce taste, but you don't want it to be too salty. So I'm also gonna put sugar, but this ginger ale already has sugar, but I'm gonna put 10 teaspoons. 1, 2, 10. So that is 10. And also, up to preference, that is. If you want to do more fragrant kind of sauce, you should put the scallions, the little scallions. I'm gonna also put 2 of the ground sugar into the mixture, because let me tell you that the fish sauce is very salty, and I want my dressing to be on the more sweet and savory side. Spicy. Since it's gonna sizzle a little bit, but mix that all up, and it sizzles, you know. And you can put the carrots and everything, but I'm not gonna be all fancy with the stuff, because it's just for me and my family, and they don't like cucumbers. You could put cucumbers later on. And all I have on the side right now, I drained the rice noodle. I drained it over cold water, and it's in the coriander. And I also have a head of lettuce, which I'm just going to chop up like maybe half of it, and then shred it, clean it, and then mix it all with the salad. So I'm going to, after the sauce is made, I'm going to go ahead and prep to get the pork chops on the nonstick pan, like griddle pan. And after the meat has been cooked, so what I'm doing now is I'm actually grilling, well, not grilling, like searing the pork chop in what's called a non-stick grill mark pan. And I have all 6 of my pork chops in here, and I just like drizzle 1 teaspoon, one of those teaspoons of the soy sauce on top to get the grill marks. But you want to turn this on high and let this cook and brown all the goodness on top. And I'm going to cook this till it's almost done, and then flip it, because I don't want to cook it too many times. This way the heat in the pan decreases, and you know, there's too much the meat juice that escapes from the pork chop if I flip it too much. Now, while the pork chop was cooking, I went on ahead and I flipped it, and I also roughly chopped a half a head of the lettuce, rough chopped. Well, you want to chop it so that, you know, someone who is eating a salad would want to eat this in their noodles. And I just chopped it finely because my brother, who does not really like vegetables, is not a happy camper with lettuce. So the people who you think that won't eat like vegetables in general, you should chop your vegetables finely. This way it's not overwhelming in one bite. And you see the pork chop has come together pretty well. If you want, I recommend, if it's summertime outside and you guys are grilling grill would always be the best because you have that charcoal glaze, and you also have the charcoal that's with let me see, I want to say like you could do like peach wood, and you want to grill this both sides on the outside. See, I also the juice that is left from the marinade, I poured it on after I flipped it. And I just want to go ahead and let the pork chop finish cooking, and then I'll tell you guys how you know the pork chop is finished. So I finally did the other side, and it's almost done cooking. And remember I told you guys to put some honey on top to finish off the process, so that it also has a hint of honey with the lemongrass, which is a real kicker. Which, because you have like salty, sweet, and you have savory from the pork. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use once again the teaspoon, my bad. And I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of the honey drizzled over the top. The honey that I'm going to use, I know this sounds really bizarre, but it's raw honey from China. And I went on ahead and put it inside a liquor bottle because that's the only glass bottle I have in the house. So I'm going to do 2 of these. You want to drizzle on the top, and this is going to be heavenly. Drizzle all this on the top, and then you want to flip it over one more time for the other side to also get the honey. You want to do the honey the last minute because honey burns real fast, and you're not supposed to put honey on overly high temperatures, because I was always told that you make honey with room temperature water, or finish your dish with honey, and that will cook it through the whole process. And I'm going to go ahead and flip them so they get the honey on both sides. Okay? And how you tell the pork is done, all you gotta do, nobody knows if it's really done, to be honest, okay? So what you gotta do is you're gonna use a little knife, and you're gonna actually cut into it a little bit. And once you cut into it, if you see that the pork is no longer red and the juice is no longer running red, then that means the pork chops are done. And you don't want to overcook your pork chops. So my pork chops are actually done. So guys, this is the finished product of the Vietnamese inspired rice noodle salad over pork chops. And I basically cut the pork chops right after the pork chops have cooled down, so the juices don't get lost as I'm cutting it. Okay. See, look at that.